Matthew 24, verse 31. Go ahead and read.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other.
Then say he shall send his angel with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heaven to the other. The four winds mean all over the earth. See, people read this, they say he's going to gather he going to have the angels gather everybody. But that word angel does not always mean a celestial being. This is what the word angel means. Go to 32 in the Greek section. The word translated angels. So we got to get understanding on this type of stuff. He said he's going to send his angels. Then we're going to look at that great sound of a trumpet. He said, see, that ain't been fulfilled. He's going to send the angels to gather his elect. 32 in the Greek. What's it say?
Angelos.
Angelos. What's it mean?
To bring tidings.
To bring tidings. Go ahead.
A messenger.
A messenger. That's all the word angel means, sisters and brothers. In the Hebrew, malak. Angel that means messenger. You have to read it in context to know if it's talking about a mortal messenger or an immortal messenger. But he said he's going to send his angels. He's going to send his messengers with the great sound of a trumpet. And they're going to gather together his elect. In other words, his elect is going to be together on one accord. They're going to be unified, right? But let's see an example of that trumpet meaning a warning. Let's go to Ezekiel 33 and verse 1. And we only got two more after that. He said he's going to send them with a great, I'm going to send my messengers with a great sound of a trumpet. And in the New Testament, the word messenger is often from the word angelos. And it's translated messenger. When it was talking about John the Baptist, the word angelos is used there. Ezekiel 33 and 1. But he said with a great sound of a trumpet. I'm going to send my message with a great sound of a trumpet. We just read in Joel chapter 2 that the trumpet represents warning. Right? Ezekiel 33 verse 1. Go ahead and read.
Again the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, When I bring the sword upon a land, in other words, drama, I'm about to punish a nation or a certain region for its wickedness. Go ahead. If the people of the land take a man of their coast, and set him for their watchman, if when he seeth the sword come upon the land, he will blow the trumpet and warn the people.
He will blow the trumpet and warn the people. Read the Bible. Read history. All of the disciples trying to warn the people, the Jews, that God is going to destroy Jerusalem one day with the Romans. Y'all better be ready to leave. They knew what they had to do because Jesus had already told them in Matthew 24 and Luke 21. When you see Jerusalem compared with armies, get ready to leave. It tells you in history that no Christian that believed Jesus perished in the destruction of Jerusalem. Not one, but over 2 million Jews perished. These are all people that didn't believe. All the Christians that believe, history will tell you this, get on Wikipedia, look it up. All the Christian converts that believe, when they saw Jerusalem compared with armies the first time in 68 AD by Vespasian, they couldn't get out. So they wondered, what we going to do, what we going to get out? Then for some unknown reason, Vespasian withdrew his army. History don't even say why he did it. He withdrew his army. During that interval, all of the Christians that believed Jesus escaped from Jerusalem to a place called Pella, P-E-L-L-A. And not one of them, history tells you, perished in the destruction of Jerusalem. And all of the Christian converts who believed the disciples for the next 40 or so years were telling everybody that this was going to happen and what signs to look for. You can even read in Josephus about a guy walking around telling people that, hey, they can destroy Jerusalem. It said him by divine revelation. They don't even say he listened to a Christian. It's like God was still giving last-minute warning. They knew that's what that meant. They were blowing, these were the messages Jesus was talking about. They were blowing the trumpet. What's the purpose of the trumpet? You just read in Ezekiel. To warn the people. Because God is about to bring a sword upon the land. What was the sword in Matthew 24 talking about? The Roman Empire destroying Jerusalem. But keep reading.
Then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet, and taketh not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head.
Hey, the disciples and all the people they converted was trying to tell everybody in Israel that when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, you better leave. But you had the false prophets telling them that at deliverance was going to be the temple. understood this. And that's how it's going to be in the future when the things that really supposed to happen is going to happen, because you got all these people walking around today teaching all this false doctrine and got people looking for something that's not going to happen. So when the real thing happens, they ain't going to know what to do. And by then it's going to be too late. You better get it right. He was not talking about angels, immortal angels in Matthew 24. He was talking about his message that he was going to send with a trumpet warning the people from the sword that's going to come upon the land, which is the Roman Empire destroying Jerusalem, which was fulfilled in 70 A.D. But let's move on. Let's go to Matthew 24 again and pick it up in verse 32. Because this how you know for sure that everything in Matthew 24 has been fulfilled. Matthew 24, pick it up in verse 32. Matthew 24, verse 32. Go ahead and read.
Now learn a parable of the fig tree.
Now he's telling them, now learn the parable of the fig tree. Who is he talking to? His disciples, right? Go ahead.
When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh.
You know that summer is nigh. Go ahead.
So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things.
Likewise you, when you shall see all these things. He didn't say when they shall see all these things. He's telling them, you gonna see these things. Go ahead.
Know that it is near.
Know that it is near. Go ahead.
Even at the door.
Even at the door. You gonna know. Go ahead.
Verily I say unto you.
Truly I say unto you what?
This generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled.
What did he say? This generation shall not pass till everything we done read up to this point has been fulfilled. So either the Messiah was lying or you don't understand the Messiah. You don't understand the Messiah. He said, this generation. What generation? Go right back to Matthew 23 and let's see what generation he was talking about. Verse 35. Because it ain't no chapter division in the original script. It's just an ongoing story. 23, 35, read.
That upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth.
He's talking to the Jews during that time. Go ahead and read.
From the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation.
Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. So when you go to Matthew 24 and read the same thing, he's still talking about that generation. He said, verily I say unto you, this generation, the same generation he's been talking about the whole time, shall not pass till all these things been fulfilled. So they had to have been fulfilled in some way or another, or Jesus was lying. You got people that say generation means a tribe or a certain race. No, that's not what it means. It means contemporaries that are living within that time period. He didn't say that generation or those that come after you of that generation. He said this generation, meaning people who were alive during Jesus' time and people born shortly thereafter would witness that and would not be dead if it would be fulfilled. This generation shall not pass till all these be fulfilled. All of this generation, who was he talking to? The Jews at that time. He's telling you right now, just in case you don't believe me, until this generation back then has passed away, all these things are not going to happen. All this got to happen before this generation passed away. All of that. And what have we been reading? About the sun and the moon getting dark, the Son of Man